Welcome to Philippines. This crazy country is more than 7,000 islands. After 40 days of island hopping across the Philippines, I'm about to show you the unfiltered truth that most other travel influencers won't. Because the Philippines looks like this, it also looks like this.
So in this video, I'm unpacking it all for you. 8 islands, 40 days, which islands to visit and which ones you definitely need to skip. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Philippines!
As a travel advisor, it is my job to help you navigate this beautiful country with more than 7,000 islands. Today, I'm sharing everything, the good, the bad, and the places so special, I almost don't want to tell you about them. Let's start with Bohol, one of the most requested and most famous islands in Philippines. While it looks amazing in photos, as someone who's visited and plans trips here, I need to be honest with you. The famous chocolate hills of Bohol, well, they are beautiful and it's a really unique landscape that you won't find anywhere else. But it is selfie stick central. There are so many people at the viewing point and there are buses after buses of tourists. It just puts a damper, and even if you're taking photos, there will be a huge queue behind you. Even the man-made forest has become more of an Instagram backdrop than a nature experience. This is certainly not what you want from a beautiful forest. The place I was most excited about was diving in Balapascua Island. I mean, look at this beautiful island with this gorgeous water. The reality is anything but that. The island has been destroyed by overdevelopment and there are so many packed boats. It's very hard to find any spot on the beach, and the diving has been destroyed by overfishing. Talk about disappointment. The only thing I actually enjoyed is seeing the big mouthed mackerel, which was my first time, but other than that, I would give it a miss. But the problem is everyone's selling the same tours everywhere and everyone goes to the same exact places. It isn't all doom and gloom though. If you really must visit, I really recommend checking out the Firefly tour because it was amazing. Pure magic. And how could I forget the tarsiers? Who doesn't fall in love with those cute, beautiful eyes? But be quiet because you can't disturb them. They're actually nocturnal animals. And my last recommendation for Bohol, the twin waterfalls of Bahangog. And here's a little tip I would give you if you were my client. Well, go there in the afternoon. That's exactly what I did. There was no one there and I had an amazing time. Disappointing? Yeah, but let's move on to the next one. And that second island is Siquijor. Welcome to paradise. Siquijor is still a hidden gem that most people don't know about. There's no airport here yet, there are very few tourists, and the gorgeous sunset spots that I absolutely fell in love with. I mean, the beaches here are also amazing. My favorite beaches are Tuboth and Peloton, but the entire coastline is beautiful, especially the cliffs you can jump from. Siquijor is a very raw and green island. There's a fun fact, the name actually means Fire Island because the Spanish used to see the fireflies from far and they thought that the island was on fire. How fun is that? To explore the raw side of Siquijor, I went into the mountains and found a butterfly sanctuary. I loved it because the owner is so passionate about conservation.
Sampugai Falls is the most touristy place in Siquijor. I mean, do you blame it? It's a really beautiful waterfall on 3 different levels, nestled right in the middle of the jungle. It is really stunning. Sadly, too many people.
My favorite snorkeling spot on Siquijor was Tulapo's Sanctuary. Now it's an amazing place because you could swim a few meters from the beach and snorkel with barracudas and trevallies. I mean, I've never seen this anywhere so close to land, and I loved it even more because it's my favorite example of sustainable tourism with local community involvement. My favorite part of Siquijor is actually an extension of it, Apo Island. It has a gorgeous white sand beach with perfect blue waters, but there's a lot more to it. It's one of the best diving spots in the entire world. After more than 200 dives in more than 30 countries, this is the best coral I've seen anywhere on the planet. The entire area looks like a pristine coral garden. I just couldn't get enough of it. But even more impressive are all the macroorganisms, these beautiful porcelain crabs, zebra shrimps, and so much more. There are porcupine fish and a ton of other tropical fish. I mean, this is one place you definitely don't want to miss when you go to Philippines. Did you see how much of a difference it makes going from one island to the other in Philippines? Avoid the travel mistakes like these. Reach out to me, my website link is below, and I can organize your travel completely hassle-free. I hopped on a little ferry and I am in Cebu, one of the most famous islands in Philippines, and this is a perfect example of both sides of Philippines tourism. I stayed in the town of Bohol because of the sardine and immediately regretted that decision because it is a completely touristy town with no charm whatsoever. So I would recommend staying in Alegria because you can easily come here for the sardines. The second experience was free diving and snorkeling with the sardines. There were way too many people trying to take photos and videos, and it was just bad because I got fin slapped so many times. Not a good idea. But I found the sweet spot when I went diving with them. I just spent the entire time looking at this beautiful ball moving in unison, creating all these different shapes. It was so beautiful and mesmerizing. I could honestly do 3-4 dives and still not get bored, but I think 2 were good enough. Do you want to know a secret better than Chocolate Hills? Let me take you to Casino Peak. I did a short hike and then find these incredible skewed hills that most tourists never see. I arranged a motorbike and it was the best decision I made because I went through all these beautiful little villages and got to explore these peaks along with some gorgeous waterfalls. I also have 2 beautiful waterfalls for you in Cebu. The first one is Cambais, which is not touristy at all. It's really laid back, and the second one is this grand waterfall right in the middle of the forest with literally no one there. I spent an entire day and I just couldn't get enough of it. Look, it's so beautiful and majestic. I'm sorry, but I'm actually gatekeeping the name for this one because I want it to be like that. Before we go any further, I just realized you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. Well, don't forget, this is how YouTube promotes my videos. So like, share and comment and let me know what you want me to cover next. You might have realized by now, I love diving and I am heading next to Malapascua. It's one of the only places in the entire world where you're almost guaranteed to see the Thresher sharks. I did 4 days of diving, which was incredible. So we went first to Monad Shoal, where we got to see some tiger sharks, and then we went over to the Kimut Shoal, the new one. And it is quite an easy dive. It's only 12 meters deep. The visibility is great, and you see so many beautiful thresher sharks with their gorgeous tails waving around and their cute little mousy faces. Let me be honest, the island itself has gotten really crowded. This is why I always tell people, come here for the sharks, not for the island experience, unless you go to Kalangaman Island. It's a beautiful island with a long white sand tail and gorgeous waters, and I loved going there, especially after diving, to relax on a beautiful sunny day. Oh, and before we jet off to Coron, let me tell you my favorite surprise in Malapascua: mandarin fish at sunset. Time to head to Palawan, and I will show you 2 places here. One that absolutely took my breath away, and the second one I couldn't wait to get out of. Let's talk about Coron, and here's a fun fact for you. The town of Coron is actually located on the island of Busuanga. You're not allowed to stay on the island of Coron itself, but there is a way around: Powlin houseboats. It's a unique resort and another great example of responsible tourism, because not only you get great views, you also get to help and meet the lost indigenous population of this area. The town of Coron itself is pretty charmless and touristy, but there are 2 places I highly recommend here. The first one is Mount Tapayas, with the gorgeous views of the islands around, but don't make the mistake I made. I went during the midday, and with all these stairs I was in hell because it was so hot and humid. So go for a sunrise or a sunset hike. The second one are the hot springs. Touristy, crowded, but it was actually nice kind of crowded. Now the real star of the place, the actual Coron Island. The lagoons here, pure magic, but this is the inside secret. You need to go with a private boat. Do not take the tours that everyone's offering, because you will find the places completely crowded. So I hired a boat and went in exactly the opposite direction, and I found the places just to myself. It was an incredible experience. I also went to some beautiful beaches, again, just to myself, and truth be told, it was actually very reasonable for a private boat and a nice lunch with the local company. Now, El Nido.
As a travel advisor, I have to be honest, it is probably the most overhyped destination in the Philippines right now. The stunning photos you see online, they are usually taken at 5 a.m. or actually before the place got so crowded. The town is full of all the touristy places. It is really overpriced. I mean, getting the same boat that I got in Coron here would be at least 4 times more expensive.
The beaches were really busy, the tour spots were all extremely busy, and the diving was very mediocre with poor visibilities. Yes, I saw some disco clams, some barracudas, but honestly, it was nothing like other places I've been to. Now you might be wondering why I didn't do the island hopping cruise between Coron and El Nido, and here is the reason why. Balabac. I actually had to think long and hard before sharing this because it is a really beautiful place that is untouched. So untouched that actually you can only go with an organized tour. You will be going on local boats to start with, and then you will be sleeping at the beach in the tents. This is the real undiscovered Philippines. You'll be sleeping in tents under stars so bright they look photoshopped. I got to meet people who became family for a week, and we went to different islands, each more beautiful than last. Every day the boat arrived and we were ready for the surprise, whether it is perfect white sand with crystal blue waters or an entire island that is pink. Every day was a surprise, and did you know, in these waters you can spot 6 different types of whales. I'm just waiting for someone to start a diving shop here, and I cannot wait to come back here. This place really stole my heart away, and I would go back in a heartbeat despite the lack of facilities. Philippines is not just all about the islands. I want to take you somewhere really special, somewhere most people actually don't even know about, and I am talking about the rice paddies of Batad and Banaue. It is a really special place that is nothing like anywhere you imagine in Philippines, with tall, towering, beautiful green mountains with gorgeous rivers snaking through them, beautiful waterfalls and endless rice terraces. There is no phone reception here, you get very limited internet, and there's no luxury places here, but this is one place where you come to heal, rejuvenate, relax and unwind. Whether you want to do it through hiking or you want to just sit on the balcony and see all these clouds forming, moving on, dissipating and forming again. The way to move around here is not by cars, but actually behind a local guide who will whisk you through all these rice paddies to different villages, and I loved spending time with him because the locals here are incredibly nice and friendly. I'd never thought I would fall head over heels in love with some villages somewhere in Philippines no one had heard of, but this is the magic of traveling. So here it is, an honest review from a travel advisor about which islands to visit in Philippines and which ones you can easily skip. There's so much more that is absolutely magical in Philippines, from gorgeous lakes full of flowers to beautiful diving spots, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So reach out to me today and I will make sure that you go to that side of Philippines that you will absolutely fall in love with. If you're looking for a more in-depth itinerary, Check out my Philippines playlist and you will find the video there.